Welcome back to We Know Finance. I'm your host, Mr. B. In this video, we are going to discuss how you get funding for a newly formed LLC. I understand the tough part is over. Stepping out on faith, believing in yourself to form the LLC, to form the business was the tough part, believe it or not. Because now the other part is funding your business, learning your craft, and competing. At which point you should feel comfortable with, because if you stepped out, you must know that you can bring something to an industry that it doesn't already have. So that means whatever your skill set is, you have some differentiators that's going to set you apart to succeed in that industry. I have a small little video here. It's only a few minutes long from a gentleman named Marvin Francois. Shout out to him. But he gives a quick breakdown on how to get funding for your newly formed LLC. And I'd like to share that with my audience. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video and I'll add some comments as we go.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get at least $50,000 in business credit for a brand new LLC. Let's begin. So the first step, of course, is creating the business. No business means no business funding. So let's make one. To create your LLC, you're going to use a website called bizee.com. That's bizee.com to get your articles of organization, which is the paperwork that makes your LLC an LLC. From there, you can use a website like Rocket Lawyer to create your operating agreement, and the irs.gov website to get your EIN, which are the big three of what make up an LLC. Now, to ensure the LLC is properly structured for funding, we want to get our email, address, and phone number set up. For email and phone number, we're going to go to Google Voice, but for business address, we're not going to use our own personal address. If you don't have a brick and mortar, head over to anytimemailbox.com where you can rent a suite in a building in your city and you use that address as the address for your business. Now that your business is set up, the next step that you want to take is make sure that you're properly set up as well. And by you, I mean your personal credit. So we're going to leverage our personal credit report to fund this LLC so we don't have to worry about the age of our LLC being a factor in getting us business credit. To ensure your credit report is properly structured, all you have to do is follow this blueprint. Number one, make sure you have 100% payment history, no late payments. Number two, less than 10% utilization on your credit report. Number three, at least 2 years of credit history. Number four, no more than 3 hard inquiries on any of your credit reports. And number five, 3 to 5 plus positive accounts with a credit limit of over $5,000. Now, all of those things in place won't just ensure your new LLC gets funded, but that you get the highest limits possible. And by the way, if you don't have all of those things in place, but you want to work on making sure you do, head over to my company's website at takeofffinancial.com and book a free consultation with me and my team about getting your credit restored. But back to the video. Okay, our new LLC is created. Our personal credit is in check. What's next? Well, what's next is finding the banks we want funding from and forming relationships with them. Reason being is because while we can go directly to most banks and apply for funding without a relationship, establishing one first will boost our chances of getting approved for even more credit. Now, while there are a myriad of banks that you can go to, here's a simple funding sequence I've seen that's worked most effectively, making sure you can get at least $50,000 in business credit. Bank number one is Chase Bank, which will approve you for up to $150K, no docs, and they pull from Experian. Bank number two is US Bank, which is powered by Elon Financial, and they pull from TransUnion. And bank number three is Truist Bank, which will approve you for up to $25K in business credit, and they pull from Equifax. Now, how we can go about building relationships with these banks is by opening a business checking and a business savings account with all three and depositing at least $50 to $100 in each one. Ideally, you want to continue doing weekly deposits into all the accounts for the next 3 to 6 months if you can, but if not, then that's fine as well. Now, once the relationship is established and seasoned, the final step is applying for business credit. Now, the last gem I want to share with you is, if you can, don't apply for these business credit products online. Go in branch to apply directly with a business banker. Doing this is going to put you in a much better position to get a higher limit, but in most cases, this can also speed up the response time from the bank and for how much you get approved for. If you follow these steps to a T, you'll be in prime position to get the bag for your business. As always, family, hope you receive value from this video. Subscribe for more content like this, but until next time, peace.
Okay. There you have it, folks. That was Marvin Francois sharing some tips in terms of how you can get some funding for your business. I think he's hit it on the head. in this particular video, he laid out the steps that needed to be taken. He suggested a few of the banks that you can potentially go to get the funding. Chase Bank was one of the banks he referred to, and there's a few other banks that he mentioned. And really, all there's left to it is to do it, right? Believe in yourself, step out on it, take the steps that he laid out, and step out in faith and trust God that, these things will yield you a good banking relationship that you can get the money from. This video is meant to be short and brief. I hope it's been helpful to you guys. I do think that there are a few other options that you can also explore. Some local banks could help as well. But there are a ton of funding options that you can look into. So certainly take the advice that he provided, but know that as you get the funding, depending on what kind of funding you get, whether it's a loan or if it's a line of credit. Now, there's a distinction between the two. A line of credit is essentially a money being put in an escrow account that you can tap into to do whatever your business needs. So let's say you have $50,000 in an escrow account. That money is made available to you. But the bank isn't expecting for you to start paying on that loan until you start drawing down from that amount. So if you decide, okay, you want to buy a piece of equipment that costs you $10,000, you're going to pull the $10,000 from your account that's got 50 in it. And now you're going to pay down the $10,000 you drew based on whatever the interest rates are that was set by the bank. And when you repay it, it replenishes the account back to 50. So upon pulling that money, you're not paying interest on a $50,000 loan. It's a line of credit that's sitting there for whatever it is you draw down. When you're talking about loan per se, if the bank actually gave you a $50,000 loan, upon giving you that loan, the clock starts. So you have to have revenues to show that you can pay back that loan on a monthly basis, plus whatever interest they're tacking onto it. So just make sure you understand the distinction between whether it's a line of credit that you're getting from the bank, which is a pool of money you can pull for whenever you need to. Once you pay it back, it replenishes. Or if it's a loan that's being given to you on a one-time basis, and once you pay the amount of money, or once you get the loan, you're expected to pay monthly on it. All right. I hope my input, along with the brief tutorial video, added some value to you guys, and hopefully it helps you get the funding you need to start your business. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you're not already a member, we ask that you like and subscribe and stay connected to the channel to learn other key business tips that you can use to succeed in your business. All right, guys, have a blessed day.